This is the Professional Edge. We're talking about why a trust is part of your estate plan. If you want to have the basics, tune into session 1 of why a trust. And we sort of outline the difference between not having a last will and testament or any estate planning document. And that means you die intestate. So let's not go that way. So let's at least get a last will and testament. Or what about a trust? A lot of people say, oh, I'm not wealthy. I'm not Bill Gates, and I don't have billions of dollars to worry about. Well, here's the benefits of having a trust. And some of you listeners here on the Professional Edge actually have a trust, and you have a will, and you have your power of attorney and your advanced healthcare directive. Kudos to you. And you think you are going to avoid the probate court process. That's one of the benefits of having a funded revocable living trust. You avoid the probate court process, and your affairs are 100% private. So your nosy neighbor can't go down to the probate court and pull your last will and testament because you don't have to file one. So your estate can be administered in the confines of a law office, and no one knows where all the money went. If that is of your priority and you have a last will and testament and don't have a trust, but you want a trust to keep your affairs private and stay out of the probate court, give our office a call at 877-654-9798. That number again, 877-654-9798. To schedule that free consultation to see the benefits of a trust and make sure things are taken care of to where you avoid the probate court process. So, going back to you, the listener here on the Professional Edge, that you have your estate planning documents in force and in place, and you think, or you have the assumption that you are going to avoid the probate court process. Here's one real quick check. Just check your bank account. Go ahead and go online. And if your bank account is registered in your individual name or your joint name with your spouse, guess what? You're going to probate. The next thing we're going to look at is the deed on your house. Go ahead and pull that real estate closing file that you have tucked away in your desk. A good, quick fire drill is, can you locate a copy of your warranty deed? There we go. So once you do, you pull it out and you look at it, and lo and behold, it's still in each individual's names, or you're going to recognize that it is in one of the individual's names. Could be just in the husband's name, or it could be just in the wife's name. One asset protection strategy is if the one spouse, let's say the wife is a surgeon, that's in a high-risk employment activity for the liability. So they go ahead and deed that property over to the husband's name only, and that's the way it sets. Well, lo and behold, that house will go through the probate court process. It's not titled correctly. So that's a quick check for individuals that have their estate planning documents in place. They think they have a trust, and they do, but it's an unfunded trust. None of the assets that the individuals own are actually retitled into the name of the trust. And unfortunately, that's what a lot of attorneys that sort of do estate planning on side work, it's not their main forte. They will draft the estate planning documents. They will have a will. They will have a trust. They will have the powers of attorney, but they will not do any of the retitling. So therefore, that last will and testament will read, I hereby give all the rest, residue, and remainder of my estate to my trust. And that is commonly known as a pour over will. So it pours it over into the name of the trust upon the decedent's estate probate. So think about that for a second. You're under the assumption that you have a trust. Nothing is in the trust, but this pour over will is going to take and put everything over into the trust. Then it will be distributed according to the terms of the trust. Yes, that's very complicated for something to hear, so you might want to replay that back up 15 seconds on the podcast. So when you think about that for a second, why did the attorney do that? Well, it's simpler. It is simple to say, pour this over in the probate court into the trust. Well, lo and behold, you're not going to avoid probate. You're going directly to probate in order to get the assets into the name of the trust. So the illusion is there that you're going to avoid probate because you're holding a trust, and it is basically an empty trust because all the asset retitling was not completed. So again, check your bank account, check your warranty deed, even check your automobile title. That's pretty simple too. If it's not in the name of the trust, something is awry and your estate plan is not complete. And in order to change the legal title over to the rightful owner after the decedent estate is being administered, then we're going to have to go through the probate court process. So if your assets are not properly titled into the name of the trust, you do not pass go directly to probate. So avoid that by getting your estate plan done by a licensed tax attorney that's done over 2,000 estate plans. Yes, I'm referring to myself, being a tax attorney, a CPA, and a certified financial planner, host here on the Professional Edge. And in order to make that initial consultation, give our office a call at 877-654-9798. That number again, 877-654-9798. So why a trust? Well, you know what? Here's the other reason we like trusts in our office. Number one, we can avoid probate if we do it right, make sure everything's retitled. And yes, we do assist our clients with retitling the assets into the trust because we've done it so many times. We're just more efficient. And if I hand the book over and I say, okay, it's time to go fund your trust, you would just look at me like deer in the headlights going, I have no idea where to even start. I don't even know what to do. I don't even know what I'm supposed to call these things. So that's where we assist our clients to get things done in the right order and make sure we can put a stamp on it and say, everything that you own is legally titled into the name of the trust. You will have no probate with regard to this estate. So if you want that peace of mind, give our office a call at 877-654-9798. That number again, 877-654-9798. So what's a key benefit besides the avoidance of probate with a trust? Well, I don't trust other people. What do you mean by that? Well, husband and wife, you've been married 20, 25 years, could be 30 years. Well, there's longevity going on right now. And when a spouse passes away at, let's say, age 65, you have your 65-year-old surviving spouse, they are expected to live another 20 years. So I'm not sure they're going to stay single for the next 25 years. That's a long time to be alone. So if you think about that in reasonable terms and you're being honest with yourself, there is a high probability that your surviving spouse will get remarried. So if they get remarried and they do a simple estate plan and they leave everything to each other, just like you in your estate plan right now is leaving everything to each other, then there is this huge potential that you will disinherit your kids. Think about that. So you do this simple I love you estate plan document. Could be on LegalZoom.com. I don't care where it is. Could be from the attorney online. Who knows? But you leave everything to each other. And then you pass away and your surviving spouse gets married and she says, hey, you know what? We need to update our estate plan. Here's this cheap site to get everything done for $99. It's an I love you will. So if I pass away, everything's going to you. And if you pass away, everything's going to me. Well, let's get one. Well, lo and behold, you, the first spouse to pass away, just gave all your assets to that new spouse. So that new spouse has zero legal responsibility to leave anything to the children of the first marriage. So if that's of concern to you, then here's why I like a trust. Because what we would do is when the first spouse passes away, we're going to have those assets go into a trust for the benefit of the surviving spouse. Now, Surviving spouse is not going to be destitute. We're going to allow for the distribution for health, education, maintenance, support, but they're not going to be able to leave these assets to that new spouse that they marry, let's say 3-5 years later. These assets are guaranteed to go to your children. So you would have peace of mind that you know 100% that your children are not going to be disinherited by these amounts. Now that guarantees that that will go there. Yes. So I don't trust that next person that comes into this relationship in a married couple. It happens time and time again. I see it. It's unbelievable. But that's the nature and characteristic. They get remarried and they're married like 5-6 years, and they come in the office and they say, we want to update our estate plan. He's got children. She has children from the first marriages, but they want this. I want everything to go to my spouse. And then if the spouse is not alive, then it goes to the children. So, you disinherit your kids. And we're seeing this happen because individuals are living so much longer and people want to be with someone in their life later in life. It's just human characteristics. So if you want to guarantee that your children will not be disinherited, then the use of a trust, basically you pass away and say everything goes in trust for the benefit of my surviving spouse. But at the time of my surviving spouse's passing, everything is going to be divided equally between my children. Therefore, you guarantee that your share, the first spouse to pass away, is going to go down to the kids. Now, the surviving spouse can leave their share to whoever they wish, husband number 2 or wife number 2, but you know for sure that your share went to your kids in equal shares, or however you want to do it, 60-40. You might like your daughter more than your son, or vice versa. That's up to you. So again, the only way to guarantee that you will not disinherit your kids is to provide for your estate plan to go everything in trust for the surviving spouse. Again, we're not going to disinherit the surviving spouse. We're going to make sure that H2, as I call them, or W2, wife number 2, husband number 2, cannot step in and receive 100% of the estate of the surviving spouse of the first marriage. So we got to sort of follow that along. So if that is a priority to you, that you are not going to disinherit your kids, and you currently have an I love you estate plan, well, let's stop the clock, jot this number down, 877-654-9798. That number again, 877-654-9798. And we'll coordinate and get your estate plan updated where you will not disinherit your kids. Sorry, I got tongue-tied on that one. But that is of extreme importance that you understand what can actually transpire. And in some marriages, they say, I'm never going to get remarried. Well, there's 20 years to go. Things change, people change. So if that's a priority, again, give our office a call at 877-654-9798. My name's C. Todd, host here on The Professional Edge, tax attorney, CPA, and certified financial planner. Stay tuned. We got more coming up on The Professional Edge.
With today's financial markets, are you getting the personal and professional attention you and your money deserve? Clients of estate management counselors benefit from having one set of professionals advise them on their tax, estate planning, and investment advice. We call that the Professional Edge. Sean Todd is a tax attorney, CPA, and certified financial planner. With over 15 years' experience, he welcomes the opportunity to assist you in preparing for retirement, implement effective tax planning strategies, and to help you properly plan your estate. His radio show, The Professional Edge, is aired weekly on Sundays at 9 a.m. If you're interested in meeting with Sean, call his office at 877-654-9798. That's 877-654-9798. Do you want to feel more confident about making the right investment, tax, and estate planning decisions? Today, these decisions are more complex than ever. Have you thought about working with a professional advisor and not sure who to turn to? Not sure what qualifies one to be an advisor? Scene Todd is more than qualified as a tax attorney, CPA, and certified financial planner. Scene is with Estate Management Counselors. Estate Management Counselors operates as an independent fee-only investment advisory firm. They're dedicated to gaining a personal understanding of their clients' objectives and implementing professional counsel and advice to achieve those objectives. So take a second to talk with Scene Todd to learn how you can benefit from their multidisciplinary practice where they coordinate their clients' legal, tax, and investment strategies into one comprehensive and integrated plan to enhance and protect their clients' financial security. You can reach Estate Management Counselors and speak with Scene Todd by calling 1-877-654-9798. That's 1-877-654-9798.